I still feel your touch, floating slowly through the night, like a distant signal, pulling me into the light.
All right, guys. What is going on? Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah. You guys having a good day? Gavin's having a good day. At least yesterday. We got to have at least one good stream a week, right? At least once a week, right? Cheers to that. Not paid sponsorship. Look at that. You got 2 white monsters on your stream. Cheers. I didn't know what else to say. Gavin was good. Slowly, Jorks, Tordy, Scott, Eric, Roberto, Ibra, Jesse, Julius, Elite, H. Got Nasdaq sells early this morning. Ooh. Well, good on you, my friend. Good on you. Discord and its infinite tomfoolery. There's always like updates and weird loading screens with Discord. I can't stand it. Just like I can't stand most of you. But anyway, 11:05. I mentioned absolutely diabolical lows on NQ, which most of y'all should see that already or have seen it by now. And then I don't know why I waited so long. But at 11:30, I said, and news high, that's CPI from this morning. And then immediately after I said, yuck, I'm leaning towards upside for data high, but we'll see. So we'll get into that. We'll try and have some fun here. We'll try and learn something here. What about the World Cup? I don't know. I think the world needs to drink from the cup of Jesus. Amen. Moving on. What's good, Adam? Do we have 2 Adams in here today? Or is it just the one? Oh, maybe just the one. We used to have more. What happened to the 2nd and 3rd Adam, dude? Somebody find them. Okay. I guess we'll get into that then. Why do you think that I would say in the Discord, why do you think I said that I would lean towards the upside for data high, but we'll see, right? It means I favor upside, not downside. Why would that be the case? Let's do some investigative work. Let's do some detective work here. Let's do some critical thinking here. We try to do that anyway. Maybe not every day. But, we do our best, right? We do our best. Why would I lean towards the upside? You want the high manipulated first before targeting the lows. How NQ printed the lows around 29,713. Oh, you're talking about this? How we made these lows here? Kind of. That is somewhat part of it, yes. You're not wrong. Okay. What did we go over yesterday? What did we do yesterday? We talked about Dow, didn't we? Yeah, I think it was one of those very few we don't do this often. But I think we spent a lot of time yesterday on Dow in here because we talked about market maker models, right? I think you guys can see that on the computer or TV, right? Consolidation, leave it, back into it, leave it again. When we leave it that second time, remember I was kind of hinting at you saying there's a strategy in 3 words. Bullish until manipulation, right? Because the market, oh, I got rid of the markups. Well, GG. We should take a screenshot. But anyway, all of like the distinctive highs and lows had, buy stops at the highs and sell stops at the lows, right? So you understand that the market clears one side and then seeks the other side, right? So in this case, if we are going to go lower, we're going to go higher first. So we talked about that manipulation. We talked about the turtle soup. We did talk a little bit about an engineered high. I think that was this one. You're correct. Your spelling is not correct, but you are correct. And that's okay. I can't spell either. So, but moving on. So it's going to generate liquidity, right? And then sweep liquidity and then seek the original buildup of liquidity, right? Drop a 1 if you guys understand that. Drop a 1 if you guys understand that, yes, the markets build liquidity or generate liquidity, however you want to say it. It doesn't matter. Names don't matter. Context does. It's going to build liquidity, generate liquidity, go the opposite direction, right? To get participants in on the wrong side, to run them across the calls on the other side. Okay. If it's going to go lower, it's going to go higher first. Right. And so while it may not be the same in this case, okay, while it may not be the same, especially given our range today, the range is kind of horrendous. But yeah, we have all these lows down here. And my OBS is tripping out. I can't tell if that's there or not. I think that's there. Can y'all see a pink line right here? I think so. Anyway. So yeah, consolidation here. Leave it back into it. So once we left it again, okay, bullish until manipulation. Well, what could be the manipulation? Data high. CPI data high. It's perfect. What else could it have been? I mean, it could be a previous day high, a previous week high, a higher time frame concept. It could be, something to that effect, sure. But what's the perfect excuse? What is the perfect excuse? One of you said it earlier. Oh, John, I took shorts this morning. Great. A good trade is a good trade. But I will tell you, if you do not pay yourself, you'll probably play yourself, right? So anybody who is still short this morning, right? The market rallied a lot higher, around 10:30 Central, right? Trying to get anyone who is short out, right? This high here, we go lower. Equities open high. We trade lower initially. Any shorts there? All these triple highs in here, yoinked to go lower. And then anybody who was short in that market went higher again. Retracement. So anybody, again, like even right now, it's grinding higher, right? Anybody that's trying to short this market, it's coming right back. It's coming right back. So yes, the idea, just like yesterday, not on Nasdaq, but on Dow at least, consolidation. Left it, back into it. We don't take the lows. We leave it again. Okay. So this was the first time, right? This was the second time. So at least the logic is bullish until we get some sort of manipulation up there. Now, again, we don't have to, okay? We don't have to. Data high and low. Well, we don't really have a data low. That's already been yoinked, but the market still could come down to these lows without taking the data high. That's still a possibility, right? And that's why I said I'm leaning that way. I'm not confident. If I was confident, I'd say that, or I'd say, you know, something along those lines. But the idea of like, well, I'm leaning higher, that to me just means like 60-40. You know, it's not quite 50-50. It's the probabilities, I think, are shifted a little bit higher, like higher in the sense that it's the probabilities are slightly higher that we will trade higher versus going lower. But even then, like 60-40, I don't know if that's, you know, worth the risk or not. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is the logic, right? Build liquidity and then take opposing liquidity first. I mean, I have enough room to draw everything here, but run it up, right? Do something like that, or even just to CPI high and then like, okay, rip it lower. It may not even be today, but that's at least the logic, right? The roadmap. Right? Something like this, where original consolidation, accumulation, reaccumulation, and then seeing that manipulation before going lower, right? And so it's like, in that sense, we're still on the buy side of the curve. So like here, this is still the buy side of the curve, if that makes sense. Oh shit. There we go. So we'll come back a little bit. If you guys didn't know that, I think it's Control Z to go backwards. Like if you draw something like that, Control Z goes back one. So there's a little keyboard shortcut for you if you guys didn't know that. Control Z. So that's like, I think that's really the only shortcut that I know for TradingView. But so, all right, drop a 2 if you guys get that logic. Yeah, John, that makes sense. We build liquidity and we'll probably run down there, but we may not run down there until we take, you know, upside first. Anyone trying to short, you know, bully them out and then run it, or just leave those open, leave those lows open forever, indefinitely. You know, I've seen that before. It's somewhat uncommon, but it's not impossible. Lows can be left open for an absurd amount of time, and highs too. So we'll see how it goes, right? We'll see how it goes. We'll investigate down here. We'll go take a look. We'll go take a look-ski, right? I don't know why I said it that way, but I'm not really fully awake yet either. So one of you said, when I asked you guys, like, why would I lean towards the upside? And then one of you said, well, yeah, the lows are down there, but we're going to manipulate first. And then another one of you said the lows around 713, which I'm guessing is here. That was part of it. And I do think the 1 minute kind of looks not so great, but nonetheless, right? What do you see here? It ain't much, but it's honest work, right? I know I said that a lot yesterday. What is right here? We have a low, market rallies somewhat. I mean, like 3 up candles. I don't know if we call that a rally, but it's still a low and then a little retracement. Then we have a second one. Then we trade higher, right? And then what do we have here? What do we have here? So that ends up being what? The 1, 2, 3 formation, which calls for what? My Judas model, baby. Last imbalance on the way lower becomes an inversion. Whew. Holy, my goodness. My goodness. So incredibly random, right? That's my Judas model, boys. Or sorry, there's some ladies here too. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my Judas model. Not your mentor's Judas model. It's John Phibbs' Judas model. It should have been named Peter, but again, I screwed that up. But anyway, look how that logic comes together. Look how that logic comes together. Okay, in case you missed it, let me spell it out for you. A lot of people think that I'm good at that. I take complex things and make them simple. I try to. I may not always get it right, and I know I kind of cuss a lot, but think about that for a second. What did we do first? We went to the higher time frames first. We went to the framework first. We were on a 5 or a 15. I think it was a 5. And we looked at the roadmap first. What is the roadmap? Sell model, right? The roadmap is the sell model, even if it is not, right? And we recognize, okay, leave lows open, accumulation, reaccumulation, to seek opposing liquidity. So if we are on the buy side of the curve, then we should trade higher, right? So that's the framework, okay? Now, what is the context? Oh, I don't know. He just gets fucking lucky all the time, which those lows yesterday did get met, by the way. So didn't I say I get lucky a lot? Well, fucking luck continues, chat. I don't know. Somebody's looking out for me, right? The crystal ball that's still out of batteries. So anyway, if we are in a sell model, that's fine, but we're still on the buy side of the curve. So there's sort of your price, right? What is the context here? Well, the context is we have a data high. Do we get CPI every day? Do we get CPI every Wednesday? No, I don't think so. Yeah, we don't get CPI every Wednesday. So CPI is not a common thing, like your ex-girlfriend, okay? CPI is not often, right? But when it comes around, again, like your ex-girlfriend, those are important, right? Data high and data low. Now, when we have a data low and that already gets taken, there is no more data low. So there's no reference there. So the only other reference is what? Data high. So look at that. High time frame framework. And then the context of CPI having a data high. Now we drop down into, and like you said, we drop down into the smaller time frame. And now we start looking for price and time. Now, mind you, we are not inside of a macro here. We don't always have to be. But look, what do we get? We get my Judas model, the 1, 2, 3 formation low, the last imbalance traded through. It's actually traded through here, by the way. So this would be the entry or a later entry here. This is also what? A change in the stage delivery or a shift in the stage delivery. We have 2 down candles right there. Okay. Look at all this stuff, dude. Look at all this stuff. All this stuff comes together like a puzzle, right? How many indicators do we have on the chart? How many? I don't know. I can't count. You tell me how many indicators we have. How many indicators do we have, chat? So, yeah. Look at that formula. Fucking beautiful. That, right, is pretty solid. Well, John, I don't like the 1 minute, oh, I'm a bitch or whatever. Okay. Well, shit. 5 minutes right here then. Last down candle. This one is trash, right? This is like a, what do you call it? It's like an inside candle, right? It's just a small range candle. This is trash. This is the large down candle that gets traded through. It gets traded through here. It gets closed through here. And then what's that right there? 11:45, new 15-minute candle. Bang, right into it. Supply and demand, baby. All the buyers came in. Don't we love when the fucking buyers come in, chat? Bang. Higher. Right? What else is this? It's been staring at you in the face the whole time. What did I tell you? Let's come back. What did I tell you the other day? We had an imbalance that we looked at, right? What did I tell you? Yeah, Gavin, I love the buying pressure too. I need some buying pressure in my tires. Well, my back right tire is a little bit low. I need some buying pressure back there. The premium air, right? The premium buying pressure. What did I tell you about an imbalance? It works for any concept though. It gets traded, right? Or it gets created, right? And then respected, and then disrespected, right? And then it becomes an inversion. And then once we get back above it, what does it become? What is that third thing here? Respected, disrespected, inversion. It gets traded through. And then what's that third thing? Right? We had the first one, which is what most people trade, and they never go beyond that. The second thing is the inversion, which is absolutely incredible. The Judas model is based on that. There's a lot of models based on that, right? What is the third thing? The third thing. Oh, big ass head and shoulders pattern, right? Yeah. Why is it that my head and shoulders patterns work and the ones on Google don't? Because you have right here, you have a suspension traded in through here. It trades through it here. I mean, the bodies kind of respect it, but it does get treated like an inversion. Then we get back above it. What's right here? Oh, it's reclaimed. So the 5-minute reclaimed suspension block also aligns with the 5-minute shift in the state of delivery. And that 5-minute change or shift in the state of delivery is also at that right below that 50% of that. More supply and demand concepts, baby. Don't you love it? Don't you love? You gotta like the stream, guys. If you love supply and demand, you got to like the stream. We got 53 viewers, 14 likes. Let's see if we can get those likes up, dog. Let's see if we can get those likes up, because you learned a lot of stuff today so far, or at least have reviewed a lot of stuff. I know I talked a lot of shit too, but look how beautiful this is. Even if we just stop here and trade lower and make a new low of day, even if we do that, you have to realize that right there, my Judas model, also shift in the state delivery, the 5-minute shift in the state delivery, the 5-minute reclaimed suspension block, like, bro, these all yielded what? Higher pricing. We used the framework, the roadmap, to find what was more logical. I gave it to you in the Discord. Mind you, I didn't say I was super confident, but I said I'm leaning that way, right? Finding the probabilities and then seeing price action, seeing concepts get respected in that direction. I mean, fuck, dude. Is that not cool to you? Is that not cool, chat? To call for higher pricing and then actually get higher pricing? It's not me, okay? It's not me. Like, oh, look what he can do. You know what I can do. Who cares? What can you do, chat? That's what it's about. It's about you obtaining the knowledge and the skills to do the same thing. So you don't need my help anymore. You have the models. You have the framework. And you have data high, data low. We don't get those often because they don't print often, but they happen every month. Every month. The first time I did feel something like that, Gavin. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a long time ago, but yes. Like when you finally see it, you finally take the low risk buy and you hold it for terminus. It's like, okay, this feels like something I shouldn't know. And it is something you shouldn't know. You shouldn't know these things. The market was not built for you and me. The commodities market especially was built for farmers, bro. Okay? Literally built for farmers. Built for actual agriculture corporations. Not like the little guy farmers, but corporations. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like Kellogg's and all the big conglomerates that are You know, everything's owned by like 3 companies, right? The futures market was built for them originally, so they could hedge their positions in the, you know, in commodities, because they're actual producers of something real, something tangible, not this bullshit. Okay. NQ, cash settled contracts on the Nasdaq or the S&P. These are cash settled. These aren't delivered. There's no deliveries here. It's all cash based. You know, and it's literally just cash moving from one account to another. It's not, there's nothing like essentially real behind it. There's no you're not going to get barrels of oil delivered to your house. You know what I mean? Like, they're just cash settled contracts. And to understand how they move, like why contracts should do this or why it should do that, or why it shouldn't do something or whatever, like, yeah, you shouldn't know these things. But again, I was gifted this stuff, and it came through a lot of different mentors, you know, some more than others. It came from people who have been doing this for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? That's the thing about the younger generations. The younger generation of people have the older generations to, you know, pass on that knowledge, right? That's why I try to get you guys to read, you know, even the old stuff, because believe it or not, the problems that you have are not yours, bro. There's nothing unique about your situation. Your situation, other people have been through before. And guess what? They wrote about it. They wrote down their solutions. You know what I mean? So to think that you're the first person to overtrade, or you're the first person to over leverage, you're the first person, you know, to have certain issues, you're not. You're not. But you have to take, I don't give advice, but you have to take advice from people who know what they're talking about. Let me Google something real quick. Give me a second. I think it's let me see something real quick. New. Give me 1 second, chat. I'm trying to find it. It is better to be poor. Oh, thank you, ad blocker. I appreciate that. It is better to be poor but wise youth than an old and foolish king who no longer knew how to take advice. Right? When you are young, I mean, I guess like maybe 40 and below, probably, you have to listen to people who have what you want. You have to listen to the people who know what they're talking about, who have gone before you and know exactly what you're going through. But it's up to you to actually listen, you know, to them or not. And again, coming back, a lot of this stuff, again, was given to me. Now, mind you, some of it, yeah, it took years and years and years, which is unfortunate. I hate time wasted. You know what I mean? Like, that's why friendships and, like, we'll say romantic relationships, sure, piss me off the most, because, you know, money, okay, yeah, money comes and goes, whatever. You win some, you lose some. Okay. But like time, we don't get back. So all that time we spent together for you to just stab me in the back, that's what I'm pissed off about. Now, all of those times, all that time we spent together, you were faking it the whole time. Like, what a fucking waste, you know? I'll never, like, just like high school, middle school and high school, I'll never get those years back. That was like 7 years of hell. I will never get back. 7 years wasted. Fucking wasted, bro. You know? But anyway, I know I go off on tangents sometimes, but it's real shit, dude. They spent a lot of my mentors, right? Over the years, they wrote books and videos and all that. I was handed this information and now I give it to you. A few things were self-discovery. A few things I did get pieced together by other people. Okay. I did not figure everything out on my own, chat. I really hope you understand that. Like, it wasn't just, here's a Google Drive. Here's, 8 hours of content. Have fun. You need, everything's in there. Fuck no. Absolutely not. That is not how it was at all. Okay. I told you when I shared the market maker models that I originally got, they were just boxes and lines. No context, no time, no concepts, no nothing. Just here's a logic, but that's it. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? And that's why, because some of you that have been here for like 5-6 years, right? Back in the IML days, right? Rest in peace. The fall of $1 billion company, right? How did I predict that? I don't know. But it's like you get information, right? And you make connections through different things. But you can't figure out everything on your own. I had to figure out a lot of stuff too. I'm still figuring a few things out too. You don't stop learning, bro. You don't stop learning. Journey, don't stop believing. It's the same thing. You don't stop learning, right? And I had friends. Now, mind you, this was a long time. This was like 2016, 2017, even parts of 2018. I had friends that were like, hey, John, do you use this? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. And they had to explain it to me. And yeah, I used to hop on calls and stuff like that, or like that guy I told you about before where I got my orange box from, right? The mitigation. He didn't use it as a mitigation, but he used it. I don't know what he used it for, but it wasn't a mitigation. But I liked that color. I'm like, oh, that's a good color, right? The opacity and everything. And I took that right from him. Black and white candlesticks. Those aren't mine either. Saw that on Twitter originally, and I was like, hey, that's actually a good color scheme. And I tried to find the guy right after to like give him a shout out, but I couldn't find that tweet anymore. But yeah, this stuff did not come from me, dude. So that's part of the reason why I do what I do. And I give you the details that I give you, because I know that if I give you certain things, you will miss very crucial stuff. Like, I could give you market maker models, but if I don't give you stop loss placement, if I don't give you, if I don't nudge you and say, hey, look, idiot, the models are in order. You ever notice that? You ever notice that you get manipulation and then accumulation and reaccumulation? It goes in order and it repeats. It's never going to be out of order. That's helpful to know okay, now that it's in order, I know, okay, we'll wait for manipulation and then get in. Right? Like, crucial information. And that was left out of like 80% of the content that I went through. So you'll never be able to fully appreciate that, because you're not me. Like, you don't know, right? Like how I grew up as a trader, essentially. But that's what I'm telling you. That's why I am the way that I am, because you have to be detail oriented. If you want precision, you have to be detail oriented. And a lot of people just aren't. They'll tell you, oh, learn a strategy in 30 seconds on TikTok. Okay. And look how that works for you. You know how many people have came to me and said they got a withdrawal, or they made their account do fucking gymnastics, or that they passed a combine or whatever because of TikTok? Not a soul, not a single person, not one. I have 16,000 followers on Instagram. I had 10,000 for the longest time. Even at a 10,000, not a single person, not one, said, oh yeah, I learned this from TikTok. I know what I'm doing because of TikTok. Not a fucking person. Zero. The number of people successful because of TikTok and the number of indicators on my chart are the fucking same. Okay? You guys get what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, chat? It's the same. You know how many hoes I care about? It's the same number. You know how much patience I have? It's the same number. Okay? It's all the same. If there was a pie chart, it's all the same. Okay? So, anyway, I don't know how we got here. How did you handle the phase where you were poor and had a lot of stupid trades? So, the biggest advantage that I had was I was fresh in the military. So I might have been poor. I had like, I don't know, like $4,000 to my name, or maybe a little bit less, you know, roughly. I had a few $1,000s to my name. I mean, I felt like I was rich because I was really young. I was like 18, 19 with a few grand. I felt, you know, like I was balling, but I was broke and retarded. But I had the military's steady paycheck every 2 weeks, right? I had a place to live and all that. Like I was set on most, like on most of those important ends. So the military will house you and they'll feed you and they'll pay you. Mind you, I didn't get paid a lot, but those things were taken care of. So while I might have been monetarily poor for those first 2 years, a lot of things were taken care of because of, you know, the military. So I had a lot of advantages, which we're not going to talk about today, but that is a mental model, is leverage. Leverage is a mental model, and I'm sure you understand what it is. It's not hard. Didn't you catch a banger off coffee one year? They don't know about coffee. Gavin, these people don't know about coffee. Okay? Nobody calls bigger trades than John Phibb. None of you. None of your mentors. Nobody from any MLM industry but me. I had the crown in that one. Period. And it won't be outdone. It won't be outdone. Oh, that sounds arrogant. Okay, well then you do it. You show me a bigger trade than coffee. I'll let you borrow my Corvette for like a month. You do it. Oh, OJ too. They don't know about fucking orange juice. I haven't looked at this in so long. I don't even remember what the symbol for coffee is, dude. I don't even remember. I think it was a Z, wasn't it? Oh, C for corn. Yeah, that makes sense. Oats, rice, soybeans. What the? I don't know what that is. Let's see if these work. Oh, I don't even think they have the data. It's in one of these. I know I still have it somewhere. That's cocoa, sugar, commodity grains, coffee. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is right there. That's why I said you won't beat it. None of you will beat that. Nobody you know, nobody in your fucking generational, like nobody in the next 100 years will beat that right here. Nobody will beat that. Look at that. Look at that. Now, mind you, this took like 2 or 3 years to pan out. You ain't beating that. You ain't beating that, chat. Jesus Christ. Look at that. Now, mind you, Obviously, that's not something that I would hold on to for that long, but that was a generational, once in a lifetime. That was like almost like a Halliburton at $4. That won't happen again. That won't be beaten ever. And I usually don't bring that up, but yeah, that was disgusting. Even myself, I won't beat that. You can't be done. What did you do in the Army? I didn't do anything in the Army, brother. I was in the Navy. I met some people from the Army. There's some interesting people. You know who's interesting is the Marines. Some interesting individuals over in the Marines. And that's all I'll say about that. Yeah, essentially, yeah. I was gaming. I think I said this before. I spent like half the time gaming. So I played like Destiny 2, Call of Duty, Halo, shit like that. And I would go like back and forth. I'd game for a couple hours, go to the charts for like an hour, something like that, and sort of go back and forth. And I figured out a lot of stuff, slippage. I learned that the hard way more than once, being slipped on like oil inventories. I traded Brexit. That was fun. I was on the right side of Brexit. I didn't even realize how, because mind you, Brexit, I think it was June or July of 2016. I think someone should Google that. It was roughly about 10 years ago. And I remember Brexit and shorting pound, but I did not realize how much of a historical significance that event would have. I had no idea. I would have put more leverage on it if I knew that was the case. But yeah, I spent a lot of time studying, trading, and I had that steady paycheck to back me up. I had the housing to back me up. I had the food, and I was beefing up my bank account too at the same time. So I was good on a lot of fronts, on a lot of ends. So, oh, that's what I meant to talk about. Sorry. Let me come back for a second. Leverage, right? Leverage means you need to find the advantages and you need to push those advantages, right? Like if you have a security clearance, use that as an advantage. Find better jobs, find a better career that will allow you to use your security clearance. If you have certain skills, leverage those skills. If you're good with people and you can sell people on shit, go be a salesman. Don't be a dickhead about it. Don't manipulate people, but like do what you're good at, in trading, right? Obviously the leverage, I'm not talking about the leverage that's built into futures or the leverage like, 1 to 50, 1 to 500 or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like leverage your probabilities. We talked a lot about that today, right? Oh, well, John, when I trade and, I do this, I do that, but man, these market maker models, man, I'm much more on the right side of the market. There's your leverage then, or your edge. There's your leverage. Okay, push that then. Stop doing this other shit. Start trading towards equal highs. Start trading towards equal lows. Start waiting for manipulation. That's where your leverage is at. You know what I mean? I made a Instagram post yesterday or the day before. I'll just say recently. And it's called Use This Mental Model. Right? Use this mental model. 82 likes, man. You guys are fucking terrible. And I talk about the circle of competence, right? What you know and what you don't know. And you have to stick to what you do know and slowly work your way outward. And those two things sort of go together. Usually mental models go together. leverage, and circle of competence. Your leverage is in your circle of competence, right? Now, if you're new to trading or whatever industry and you don't have experience, you don't have knowledge, you don't have an edge yet. You don't know your leverage yet. And that's why you get wrecked in the beginning. No matter what career field you get into, you get paid the least because you're entry level. Everyone around you is smarter than you. Everyone around you has more experience than you. That's why they get paid more than you. It's the same in the military too. I went in as an E1. I made like $50 a month. It was ass. I had to do all the bitch work. I did all the work and made the least amount of money. And everyone around me, not everyone, but most people made the majority of the money by doing the least amount of work. I said, this is fucking horrendous. But that's how life is. No matter what industry you get into. Trading is the only industry where you can come in and kick ass and start doing better than people who have been doing it a lot longer than you. Trading, yeah, is an industry that is possible, for sure. But you have to learn the rules of the games that you play. Some games you get to choose to play. Some games you do not get to choose to play. I won't go into details about that, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Okay? So hopefully you guys really understand that. Leverage, circle of competence, being a student, finding your edge and pushing it. What do you think I do here? What do you think I do here? I find the probabilities and then I go with that. And it works. It works really fucking well. What else did I learn the hard way? That bitches ain't shit. That's what the fuck I learned the hard way. That's what I learned the hard way. Look at this shit. You're telling me that all the buyers came in every time at 75.70 and not a single person had 69.75 as a buy order and nobody was willing to sell there either? That's fucking crazy to me. That is absolutely insane to me. Oh, and that's the same as that one. All those lows are the same. What a scam. What an absolute diabolical scam. So, anyway, we have not done a lot on stream. We're finally starting to grind a little bit in the last 30 minutes. So it's not like in a super hurry to get up to data high. It still might not. But hopefully you learned something today. Yeah, buyers jumped in, yeah. But nobody on Twitter was coming and saying to buy it, right? If only we could know. If only we could all come together and move price, right? The internet's the biggest network in the world. Why can't we all come together in a group chat and move price? Why has nobody thought of that? You're telling me in the last 100 years, we'll go 50. You're telling me in the last 50 years, not a single person has ever decided to make a global group chat? And together we can take on the big fucking people? The big hedge funds and institutions? What about Wall Street bets? Are they moving price? Well, penny stocks, okay. They could probably have some influence on penny stocks depending on how many people actually come together, sure. But with index futures, oh yeah, good luck. Good luck. Do you see how I destroy this logic all the time? No matter which angle you look at it, no matter what angle, right? Relativity, there's another mental model for you. Relativity, you have to look at the same thing from different angles, right? The microphone is right here. I don't know if you guys can really see it because I have the camera kind of limited, but my microphone's right here. Look at it. See this? You see that? That's my microphone, right? I'm talking into it from the front of it, but it has a back side. It has a right side. It has a left side. I could be under it. I don't know how great you'd hear me if I was under it, but it's got a stand right here, right? There are so many angles I could look at this microphone, right? And they're going to look different at every angle. You have to look at a logic. You have to look at whatever it is that you're analyzing, even a person or a situation, at multiple angles and see, okay, what would it look like from here? What would it look like from here? What does it look like from where I'm at? What am I missing? What about this person? What about this angle? What are they missing? Right? And so you get a fuller picture, a fuller scope of the situation. And no matter how you look at it, from any perspective that I've given you, supply and demand is fucking bullshit. Every single angle that I can possibly think of disproves supply and demand, bro. Time, price, and context, that's like 3 of them right there. Right? Stuff like reclaimed concepts, that disproves that shit immediately. Okay? Shit like this, price hitting the same spot like 6 times. In what world do you see that? That not a single person had an order below that? Nobody was willing to sell 1 tick below that? Not a single person or a single entity? With all the high frequency trading algorithms and all this volume, right? There's billions in volume, but yet there was no orders there? Really? You're telling me in the last 50 years, nobody has thought to come together and move? It's all bullshit, dude. All of it. Every angle is, and that's why I dunk on this shit so many times. How can anybody still believe in that? I've tried. I've studied that stuff longer than you would even think. Okay. And it's garbage. So I know I talk a lot of shit, but it's for good reason. And if I couldn't trade well, if I couldn't predict price for you ahead of time, then nobody would follow me. Nobody would pay attention to me. If you never learned anything, you wouldn't be here. If you didn't think this stuff was cool, you wouldn't be here. But you know what? You are here. You're not here for my jokes. You're not here for that. I know you're not. Yeah, slowly. The algorithm out there was like, oh, okay, this goober is his live stream on YouTube. So we'll just print 5 candles with the same low over and over again, the same low. Yeah. We're pretty much at the end of the hour, so I feel like this is a good place to stop. Thank you, Scott. I'm glad one of you like my jokes. Got a banger gold buy yesterday off the lows being manipulated. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, Gavin. You just wait for manipulation and then get in. It's simple. Oh, Felix is here for the jokes as well. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if y'all are laughing when you're fucking banned from my chat. How about that? How about that? You want to argue? Yo, forget I can right click. I got some ban buttons over here. You want to see it? You want to see it? Put user in timeout? That's a fucking option. Hide user on this channel? Yeah, that's an option. Y'all better watch the fuck out. I will hide you immediately. I will put you in timeout. Y'all know I've done that before, right? Y'all seen me put people in timeout before. Don't forget who's daddy, okay? Daddy has the power to time out. You're welcome, Gavin. And everybody else, I hope you learned something. It's not always easy, right? But, you know, we have tools. This is ass. We have tools, right? We have frameworks. We have probability. We have concepts. We have normal concepts. We have inverted concepts. We got reclaimed concepts. We got models on top of models, right? We have all these things, and it's really hard to grasp if you don't pay attention. You have to let me minimize the chat. Let me just go to a different tab. You have to pay attention. You have to use your journal. You have to use, well, you don't have to, but it would be greatly beneficial if you use your field notes, right? To stay organized, to stay disciplined, and all that stuff. So we'll go over more mental models soon. Yeah, let's do that. Let's close off with this. Drop a 3 if you guys want to hear more about mental models. Not today, but like in the future. I know I will put some in my next video, but do mental have with what I've said about mental models, have mental models piqued your interest? Excuse me. Do they seem interesting? Do mental models seem like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty cool. I kind of want more mental models. Oh, relativity, that's cool. Circle of competence. Oh, that's kind of cool. Leverage, that's kind of cool. Oh, I can sort of see this lattice work starting to be put together here. Because I think they're cool, man. I've only have been learning about them for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years or so. And they're great when you actually start putting them together like a puzzle. And it's just like these models here, how there's models at the consolidation that I don't trade, but there's models at the low risk buy and at the reversal and at the first leg distribution, second leg distribution, all that stuff. And mental models are the same way. You start to see the models in real life. Just like when you go downtown, not New York, because that's a shithole, but Chicago's a shithole too. We'll throw that in there. Sorry, field notes, but it's a shithole. When you see buildings, right, and that's when you start seeing, oh yeah, these are candlesticks. Look at this fucking equal highs, right? Oh, look at this head and shoulders pattern. Y'all know what I'm talking. Or you see some mountains. Oh yeah, well look at this trend line and look at this, look at that, right? And you start seeing what you're learning here in nature. Oh, there's a new high. New high at the PM session, barely. Barely. Because you start to see what you're learning in other areas, right? Price action's the same way. Mental models are the same way too. Mental models and charts, perfect, yeah. Of course. We said metal models, but it's mental. Anyway, with that being said, now that we got a new high of day, new high of the session, sorry, now we can close it out. Y'all be good, be blessed. I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday. For the members here, it is Tuesday, which means you get a market review in a few hours. So I will go over a few things there and we'll have a good time, probably. And yeah, so I will see you then.